Hello, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing from Co-Creators Global Village, here today with my friend, Fran Bailey. Hi, Fran.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy and so grateful that you are going to be with us today and generously show us and share with us some energy work, because it's perfect with the theme, love is the way. And for everyone that is just meeting Fran, I want to make sure that you know how special she is and how amazing her technique, the Sheva method, comes from energy healing and alternative healing and a amazing connection with source, as well as dance. So it is a flow through to really clear your energy to get you to who you really are, not the program that you have. So Fran, I want to also make sure that everyone sees your book, but Fran, tell us a little bit about your journey to discovering this amazing gifts that you have and how you incorporated dance with healing.
Well, I'll try to keep this simple. I always grew up with a metaphysical background and always very positive thinking and mind over matter. And I always had music and dance. My father sang and my mom danced. And so we always had that music. And of course, I studied ballet with my mom in the barn. We had the ballet teacher come and teach us, and I couldn't reach the bar, but I was hooked. I was really hooked and loved the idea of music and dance and really sharing the energy through the body. And I think that's where, it was just natural for me. And then, I went on and got my BFA in dance and taught and choreographed and did that career for many years, still dance if I can. So it's definitely in my soul for sure. And then I went on to study energy work through one of the doctors that I worked with his children, and he said, you can see energy. And I went, okay, what does that mean? So I started training with Rosalind Briere from California, who is brilliant, sort of a medical intuitive. And I was always psychic as a child. And then I just woke up and went, oh boy, they found me. And it's interesting because it started very young when I would see things and know things. And then, it came to me when I was 19 and Haight-Ashbury. I was living in Haight and San Francisco, and they wanted me to do the spiritual thing. I said, no, I'm not ready to do that. And it was 12 and then 19 and then, into my 20s. And then I got married, had children, and then they found me after I had my children. So I said, okay, no hiding now. And basically just went through training of becoming an energy healer, psychic healer, and medical intuitive. So, and then I combined the movement and the dance and the energy and created body movement through studying in the studio for hours and hours and hours. So the work that I knew as a dancer, knowing the body, and the injuries that I'd had, of course, were many. So I said to myself, I'm going to find the acupressure points that open up the meridians, the chakras, in order to keep the flow, so that we can heal ourselves. So I really believe that that was a huge thing to just keep it going and teach people how to do this so that they can understand their own body, because the body doesn't lie. If you clue in, if you check in with the body, it will give you answers if you listen, feel, know, hear. Those are all really, really important things. So as I became an energy healer and learned all the skills, and then my father died and I got cancer a year after he died, and cervical cancer. And, you know, they wanted to take everything out and all that stuff. And I said, no, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to do it myself. And I'm going to work with another woman, and we're going to make this happen. So I learned how to run energy on myself and learned how to shrink actually the cancer cell, so that I had this mantra that I was whole and that I was, you know, there was no guilt or shame, that I had a relationship with cancer, because cancer it's something that's there if you acknowledge it, but at the same time say, you know, I don't want you here because I want to live. I want to move on. I want to carry on with my life. So basically, I just had my own technique through the help of Rosalind's work, that I would just sort of like Pac-Man, and start killing the cells. And eventually it was fine. I mean, I went through all the medical stuff and checking in every 3 months, and then 6 months, and then, you know, a year. So my belief system changed, and that we do have the power to heal ourselves. And I think that that's probably the impetus of how this all began. And then, you know, the personality is always a joy to deal with when we have stuff that we have stuffed in, and we don't know what's holding us back. So I studied the Enneagram, which is a study of personalities from Gurdjieff in the 1900s. So he actually studied movement to study the human condition, and went all over the world, and then translated that into personality, to define with the personality. So there's a heart type, a head type, and a body type. So I trained to become an Enneagram facilitator to understand my own hiccups. And they are hiccups, because those are the ones that say, okay, wait a minute now, what are you doing? So I think with all those techniques or those systems combined, it's really, you can't get away, because you have to face yourself. You have to face all those things, and then be okay with where you are. And yesterday I had a client, and you know, I said, to love yourself, you have to be okay with where you are. You have to be, you know, love the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, we're not perfect. We're human. We make mistakes, and just let go. And she got a little teary.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm thrilled to share it, and feel like it's kind of what the world needs, a simplicity of how to maybe. And so I'm thrilled to be able to share it.
Yeah. And I sense that this time period that we're going through with the energies changing is the perfect time to learn your type of process, because all of our shadows that we think we've stuffed and no one else can see. First of all, we're putting all this energy into trying to convince everyone else around us.
All right.
You know, so there's a lot of energy waste with that, but it's about this that love is the way to healing. Love is the way to our new unified, peaceful your earth. because if we can't love ourselves, we can't love others. If we're critical of ourselves, which we are more critical of ourselves than anyone could ever be. Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you work with people, like for instance, yesterday you were working with somebody, could you give us a little bit of an idea of what that looks like? Is it several meetings? Is it several like an assessment, and then you go deeper? And I'm sure it's gentle and kind, because you are gentle and kind. But could you give some insight into that?
Yeah. It's always a shared thing. And, I have the tools, some tools, but it's you do the healing, and it's really not me. I suggest, and I read the energy before I even see a client, and look at what their desire is and what their resistance is. That's really, really important, because if there's too much resistance, then it's never going to work, because they're resisting their own growth. So, and so I usually do either, we talk over the phone, or you see me in person. You do the audio meditation, and then I see them individually and decide, kind of channel what's going to work for them. And each time and each session is very different, and each person is different. So each piece, somebody has different needs. So nobody's gonna be the same. So I'll channel a little system, a little way for them to be okay with themselves, basically, for where they are. And then once they accept that, and once they accept the change, then we can roll. Like I said, if you open that door, it's dark, but I'm there. You want to jump, we're going to jump, so you can fly. So it's that kind of energy, that kind of freedom. I said, well, you want to free yourself from this, and let's do it. Let's do it.
That's perfect.
So, when someone's allowed to do that and allowed to love themselves, boy, something changes very, very fast. So I'll either do, reading here in the room or over the Zoom. And sometimes I can just see there might be another person that's blocking them. I can read their energy. It's a block here and a block there. Or for instance, this person had energy outside of the heart. So obviously this is a heart day. Things to happen for a reason. And I picked a stone before she came.
Perfect.
And, infused it. And then she'd never done energy work before, and she was pretty blown away. So I put her on the table, used the stone, ran energy. It's like dance. Running energy on a body. It's like that when I use my feet, I kind of, my feet turn into my hands. And it's like this, we just follow the energy of what the person needs. There's an inner language. And there's an inner connectedness that is not verbal. It's silent. And what happens within that silence is what I think is God, source, love. And so there is no judgment. There is just that moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
I think dance and art allows you to access that divine spot, because I call a lot of times that's flow, where you're just ecstatic. I mean, the Sufis, they go round, round. They're not thinking, oh, 22, 23, 20. They're not thinking how many times they've gone around. They're thinking, how do I feel fantastic? How do I ascend into knowing I'm more than just this? And but right now, Fran, with all the stress that people, I mean, you said this lady was in the healthcare system. I mean,
Mhm.
you can imagine the stress that they're under because it's like pressured. It's like this heaviness, and you just don't even want to hear the next news because
Right.
they're not telling us good stuff. So did you feel that that it's a stress release, a lot of what you're doing, or is it more big? It sounds like it's bigger work than just stress, right?
Yeah, I think to identify, for instance, we as humans read something, ingest it, that's not uh, wonderful to think about, or, you know, and acknowledge it, but how it persists and how it relates into your personal life, how does that work? How do you get beyond going down into those lower levels and understanding that your life is different than that? So that when I look at the person's life, where is this blocking it? Is this stopping the movement? Is this stopping what? So let's identify the difference and understand that you are whole, strong, in love, and that if you send love, that is gonna, you're gonna send love even to the darker.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Yeah.
Because um, you don't want to bring that dark up into the light. It's the other way.
Right. Well, the dark is seen by the light. It's shadow. That's why they call it shadow work. Is
Right.
there's when light's projected on it, and we're being bombarded with photonic energy like never before. The Schumann resonance is off the charts. I watched one, or I read this article, and they didn't even have it in white. They had it in red. It was so far off. Yeah, our magnetic energy around our Earth is really, really
Yeah.
changing from being in our place in the galaxy. And what's happening is that people are going to become more and more sensitive, like you are, but they're not going to know how to manage it, and they're not going to know how to be in this beautiful flow, because life is a dance if you can get out of your head and get to
Mhm.
here, right?
Mhm. Sure. I mean, please understand that, yeah, I'm human too, and I certainly have my stuff, and I have to deal with it all the time. I mean, this is not something that just is constant.
Right.
So if you have the tools to understand, oh, there it is. We're going to kiss that baby goodbye. I mean, it's just like you just have to play with it and know those cues. And but we all are suffering with each other, and suffering in a good way of acknowledging others' pain and others, you know. So if I just keep running love, then that's all there is.
Right, right. Well, the thing is, the contrast allows you to see where you might still have something blocking you. And it also, your journey creates a compassion for others. So I don't think that any experience you have, even the bad ones, the ones that hurt like a lot, I don't think those are, they're kind of divinely inspired. And it may have been before you got in physical that you chose, oh, I'll do this and this and this, because it seemed doable, didn't
Right,
seem painful.
right.
So Fran, could you give us some examples of experiences that people have that you've worked with have had that would give the audience an idea? I mean, you healed yourself from cancer, and you can help people with their get out of their mind and get into their heart, and their mind's full of judgment, and this is full of love. So I know that about you, and I know that you're kind, you have a kind manner about it. It isn't like a shaman. A shaman's like, and that's not your way at all. But could you share a little bit about the Sheva method? How maybe some experiences that people had that you could share?
Yeah. I mean, wow,
There's a zillion of them.
quite a few. Well, I think the most valuable times are the times when humor is brought in, because because humor is light, and once you realize some sort of dysfunction about yourself and you can laugh at it, that's good. And then everybody laughs. Then the energy rises. Then we all forget about all those heavy things that we experience. Because if I'm in a class and, I can sense, I'll channel the class before, I'll do it the night before, and then that 10 minutes before they come, I went, oh, you got some heavy stuff coming. So my job is to listen, get them so that they're trusting themselves and the process, that it's their process, not someone else's, so that they have confidence in the next step. And then I take them deeper, and then a deeper dive, and then we slowly come out and I channel the energy after that. And it's like this, once they're in themselves, then it becomes, wow. Then the energy just, and then it comes in for them. And that is the beauty. To me, that is like, it's not me, it's the experience. It is definitely the experience. You have to experience it in order to understand the shifts and changes. And those shifts and changes will happen like within the next week, within their dream state, or all those things are kind of set in. And it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's amazing. I think, the each morning we wake up all new. And so this is a huge opportunity for people to get empowered by learning from you, having a session and seeing what it's like, and then seeing if this modality would help them help others, because we're all clearing. I mean, it's clearing, because we create with our thoughts and our minds, and we're unconsciously creating a lot of times, right?
Yes. We're in all those levels, we're in those multi-dimensional levels for sure, at all times. And especially now, as you know, the energy is running very, very fast.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I keep reminding people that you're processing very quickly, and do not be ashamed of what comes up or what you experience, because it will, if you allow it, it'll help you,
Right.
Once you understand what it is and go with the flow and not be in resistance. Resistance is a huge, huge thing.
Yep. Resistance is futile. That's what the board said.
Yeah.
It's true though, because we put so much energy, the freedom, the joy and the happiness that's uncovered when you finally process the shadow work, or the sadness, or the trauma work, whatever you want to label it. It's something that is separating you from you. and the opportunity to see it and integrate it, and the potency of that, the integration, and the energy of not resisting it continually creates this huge energy opportunity to do something creative. And that's what's amazing, because we think, oh, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there. and then something finally forces you to go there. And if we could just have the experience and get it over with, we would be so much better. But people don't know until they know.
It's hard. It's not,
Yeah.
sometimes hard, but I think that that level of trust and in the process is so important, you know, and everybody has their own process. And, you know,
Well, you help people bring out their genius and their soul connection. So, and so the embodiment part of all of this is so important, because we are going through a period where we're ascending. And in the past, if you look at all the religions, it was about ascending out of body. And this is the first time, maybe ever, in the whole universe that we're ascending embodied. So your work of helping people understand and love and work with their body is huge, because it's soul body fusion is what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, I'm amazed that we can do this now.
Of course.
Really, I mean, it's here, and it's like I've been waiting for this for a long time, you know, as you have, as all the healers that have been around forever. So it's kind of, it's refreshing, it's exciting, it's daunting, but
yeah, but it's a reconnection to who we really are. So the patterns and I mean, our parents did the best they could of training us with how to get along in this world, but they weren't trained to, most people's parents weren't trained to understand the mystical, the unseen, and the beauty of all of that. The fact that your mom and you did dance together shows that she probably was hooked in too, and that was her way to express it. But it wasn't really safe to talk about this stuff. Well, for the past 20 years, there's people like Wayne Dyer, but now we're finding quantum physics is proving it. It's not just sensitives.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I think my dad was pretty psychic, just didn't know, you know, he wrote poetry too. And he was, you know, I remember we were in the car. This is a great story. And we were driving, and, you know, he would sometimes just reach out his hand and like, you know, put my hand in his hand. It was just like this wonderful acknowledgement. But I put my head back, and I said, Dad, do you remember that guy? He said, yeah, I remember that guy. And we didn't even have any conversation. We were having the same thought. And I looked at him, he looked at me. So it's those moments. And I think that, you know, he wasn't ready to be that person. And maybe he shared it with me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, he knew that you knew.
Yeah. He knew that I knew, and I knew.
And that was enough.
Yeah, that was enough.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I work with the International Association with Near Death Studies, and some of those people waited 30 years to tell anyone about their experience, because they, number one, didn't have the words, and number two, it wasn't socially acceptable. It seemed like you were out of the norm. So that was something that you didn't feel comfortable doing. But now everyone's going to be empathic. Everyone's going to be sensitive, that we're being upgraded at a cellular level. And people need to know about what you offer, because they're going to come in contact with stuff that they need help processing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And it isn't just the pressure cooker of reality. It is just physiologically. Oh, hi.
I had to move back and then the sun is like, woo.
Well, let's talk for a second about your book, and then hopefully we'll get to do some movement and show a little bit of your work. But right now,
I'm gonna try to move back a little bit. I'm sorry. That's not gonna work.
okay, well, while she's doing that, I'm going to show this book. This is Emergence, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's a book that Fran wrote that it's 4-color on the interior. It's absolutely, I hope I can do this right. So you can see, and it goes through each chakra and gives people an idea, because chakras aren't really taught in regular medicine. It is in Eastern medicine, but not in Western medicine. And so this book, I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it takes you by the hand through the knowledge, and it's very, it's an experience. Like, you read this book and you feel better. I mean, even if you don't, if this is the first time you've ever heard of these terms, they don't confuse it's this peaceful, loving gift of an energy from this book. So do you want to talk a little bit about your book?
Sure. It's someone said that you need to write this book. I went, really? Okay. And you need to get this down. You need to get it down on paper. And I went, okay. And I know it. I knew it. And I knew it. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to do it. Talk about resistance. So I gave myself a short period of time, and I had years and years of notes and, classes and whatnot. And I had a vision that I wanted someone to experience this, not someone to read and say, oh, that's okay. But each page has an impetus and a purpose. So the purpose is very simple, really, really simple. But once you read it, it's like oh, okay, well, I kind of get that. Anyway, so it took about 1.5 years, and I remember I would write best in the morning. I'd come in here and go, okay, I got to lay down. I got to do this. What's next? And all these. So I'd find these pictures. So the picture would come first, then the chapter, or the chapter, and then the picture. And so we would imprint the color. And the woman who found these colors was just awesome, and she got it. And anyway, so I said, okay, my husband had to leave. I said, you got to leave town because I got to finish this thing, because I'm going nuts. So you got to go. So, so I'm in the kitchen, and I'm writing like crazy, and I slam my hand on the counter, and I went, oh, I gotta finish this thing, and you need to help me finish it. So, but that's what it took. It's like, I gotta get this done, and I gotta do this now, because the world needs it, and it needs it right now. And boom, I finished it, and it's like,
yeah.
So it was just a kind of a calling, I would say. I would say it was a calling. And then I knew that the audio meditation would follow, and then the body work would follow, and therefore it became a method. And that's how this is the sort of the function, the base. And then, we go from there.
So then I want to make sure people understand the knowledge that's in here, because, see, I think because you just do it and it's who you are, you just go, oh yeah, but it's really something. I mean, this book allows you to really go into a soft, loving space in yourself that most other books about this work, it's almost like Rumi poetry. It has a soft feminine flow to it. And so you are transformed, but you're not, your brain is comfortable, Your heart is comfortable. It's not a, it's a peaceful transformation. And I don't think very many books like this are like this. In my experience, I've published books and I haven't seen very many. So I think what you're saying is it goes through the chakras, it explains your energy centers, but it is a transformational piece as well. It's a healing. This is alchemy.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when I have a client, I'll put my hands on the book and say, okay, what does that client need? You know, and I'll open up page and go for broke, basically say, this is what this person needs. So let's just see if we can connect. So for instance, today is about the heart chakra and
okay, I'm going to make you full view now. Okay.
So I don't know if you want me to show this or I can.
Sure, whatever. So this is a page out of the book.
Can you see it?
Yes, do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Fourth chakra, to accept and receive, to love and be loved. I put it up just a little bit higher. To contact and live in the heart center, the source of love. It is the place where we feel all is right in the world and with us in it.
Mm-hmm.
To love and be loved. Oh.
Love and be loved. Yeah. So, and then, you know, I think this is really, really important. The direction and momentum in the heart chakra is to move toward accepting our imperfections and learn to love unconditionally without judgment. This can be done at times, but love stands at the altar of truth. How you arrive at discovering your own truth is your own process and choice. So love is at the altar of truth is how I grew up. And that's just the way, it's the way it is. And this is this is Kuan Yin, she's the female Buddha. And that is Babaji and Jesus. And of course, Babaji was part of Jesus and Jesus was part of Babaji. And these are my guides. And they're incredible beings. And so I think, Rumi, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Rumi. And the last page, where this is basically it sums it out of what it is in this work in conclusion. Your first and foremost task for continued emergence is to create a safe space where you can rest and focus. Second, create movement to wake up the body and aura with music that enhances the experience and flow. Third, deepen the consciousness of your body, personality, and soul connection through guided meditation and chakra clearing. Fourth, learn to detach from clinging energy that is resistant to your truth. So important. Of course, that's the fourth, right? Fifth, become aware of the emotional habits and storylines that invade you and affect your health. So it's a body. Sixth, deconstruct and eliminate the shoulds, have tos, and oughts that keep you in excessive judgment. Seventh, regenerate the body, aura, mind with fresh new energy. Accept the changes, shifts, and similarities and differences in self and others.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's simple, but you know, yeah.
It's like we forgot. It's like we forgot. We didn't, no one comes into the world with a with a manual,
Right.
operations manual. So our parents do the best they can, but they're pretty much, unless they break in a generational pattern, they're using the same paradigm as they were taught. And
Right.
so a lot of people are carrying shame from generations. And when you clear it, it clears the whole line. And that's the other benefit of doing this kind of work, right?
Right. Right. There's a, oh, there, that's better. God. So this is another quote. So this is, I'd like to move if we can, if we have time.
Sure. Yeah, we
So
do.
this is Ruth St. Dennis, who's a dancer, old, beautiful dancer who, you know, always used material and just is gorgeous. So she says, right here where you and I stand, we shall behold a true and radiant world. In that world, we shall dance only our divine essence.
Beautiful.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, again, I keep thinking of flow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing is that, right, this whole time period, the past 2 years, is what feels good, what doesn't feel good, how to get to the good feeling place, and to add kindness, love. That's why love is the way. Really, love is the way. And we just weren't taught to self-love. It's not selfish, it's necessary.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Kathy has inspired me as I've been working with her, with doing color. And it's interesting, before I called her, it was like 6 weeks before that. And I said, why do I keep seeing color? And why am I going to be drawing? I don't draw. I went, okay, I'll hang on to that. So I've been working with Kathy, and she's brought this belief in me, and I'm thrilled and grateful, and thank you so much for believing in me. And she said, you need to draw. And I went, oh, shit. Sorry, I shouldn't be. Anyway, so I've been doing these mandalas, and this is the heart chakra. And I want to do a little movement, but these are going to be working on these. And if we do movement right now, I want you to focus on the fourth chakra at the heart with these colors in mind. So, okay.
I want to add that these are powerful healing tools, that Fran has the part of it in her book, but now she's actually doing a set of these. And since we're working on Love is the Way, we're working on the heart chakra, but she'll have a whole set of all of the chakras soon. Okay.
Okay, so do we do this now, or?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, let me see. You have to give me a minute, because I have to figure out how to set this up for a second.
Okay.
I think. Okay, can you see me?
Yes, perfect.
We need to be closer, am I good?
That's perfect. Unless I need to, I can see your feet in the mirror, but
You want me to?
okay. And then are you going to put music on too?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hold on. Enjoy the space.
Yes, it's beautiful there. So we're going to be gifted with an opportunity to learn how to open our hearts and work with Fran's modality, the Sheva method, in just a few minutes.
Tell me if that's too loud or not loud enough.
I don't hear it.
You hear it now?
Not
Good.
really. Can you
Okay.
bring it closer to the computer?
Hear it now?
Yes. Now it's really loud.
Better?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're standing, I just want you to feel your feet and just breathe. Take a deep breath and exhale. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so I want you to reach out slowly and continue up above your head. And then open your arms again. So we're running energy around your energy field. So you're just feeling the edges of your aura, right? Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale. Feel the top and feel the energy underneath the feet as well. Now you're just going to tilt to the side. Tilt to the side. Tilt to the side. Tilt to the side. Roll your shoulders. Bring your arms out. Bring them to the heart. So this is the heart. Right. Now you're going to fold your fingers in and you're going to go right to the heart. This is a pressure point right between the breastbone. Hold it. Breathe. So feel that energy running in the front and the back. Now you're going to keep your knuckles together. Reach towards me. Keep your knuckles like that. Good. Open your hands. Exhale. Go to the side. You're going to inhale up. Heel of the palm of the hand together. Roll the fingers back to the heart. Good. And again, inhale. Exhale. Reach side. Good. Now up. And roll. Back to the heart. Good. So you're creating a heart actually in space. Reach out. Inhale up. Roll the fingertips back to the heart. Stay. Good. Now you're just going to take your hands out. Open your palms, bring them down. Here again. Hold it. This is the biggest place in our body to run energy into the shoulders. You're going to reach your elbows up. Inhale. Open. One more. In. One more. In. There you go. It's kind of quiet and feel it.
Oh, yeah, I got kind of chills tingly.
Did you?
I needed it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And it felt flowy. That's what I mean. When you do things like this that make you feel good, but they're almost like a game with yourself, it's like, oh, I gotta go take my walk, or oh, I gotta go do a run. It's not a have to, it's a want to, it's a state change, basically.
Yeah, it is. And you know, this whole system is 15 minutes or 20 minutes and you go through all the centers and it's like whatever it is, it's like a warm up for anything because it puts you right back in. So anyway, kind of fun.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, what I would like to do also is to make sure that people know that not only can they have sessions with you and crack themselves open, and this is like the perfect time for that. For, I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know even anyone that's even been doing the work for a long time that doesn't need it right now, because it just seems like any obstacle to you being connected to God, source, the universe, whatever, goddess, whatever you
Mm.
want to call it, is showing up because it wants to be released,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So I want people to know that, but also that if you are in a healing arts environment and you want to learn more and you want to increase your capacity to change people and support them, empower them to change, that Fran also teaches. So there either way is an empowerment, but one is, you know, Fran works on you and the other is you can work on yourself and everyone else, right?
Right. Right. Yes. And
Right.
everybody needs something, to reboot and regenerate, and just need that upgrade.
Well, I think it's also the people that are sensitives are really, really, you know, like I just heard a bird in your background, the canary, canary in the coal mine. I mean, they're feeling every single change and the global consciousness. They're very aware of it, and so you know, working with Fran can help you release that connection so that you can get back to who you really are and not have to carry along that burden with you.
Mhm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So one more thing, Fran, as far as how you see this time period, are you real hopeful? How are you seeing? Because I think people want, yeah, I assume you're gonna say something inspiring, but but I think this time period is really a gift.
It is a gift. And um, when it's like a birth, whenever there is labor of change, you're laboring in order to rebirth. And I think that, the suffering is there, but if we look at as transition rather than a problem, then I think the transformation will come even faster. So that there is this acceptance of, wow, there it is again. There it is. I got to go again. I got to go again. And I'm going to do this so that I can move to the next phase and move to the next phase. That helps you understand life as it is.
Right, right.
I think there's that.
It's a perspective too that everything's a gift instead of being a victim. And most of our training or our culture is based on victim mentality, and that's what we're blessed that we're leaving that behind.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessary to carry that along with us anymore.
It's not.
Right,
No.
right.
Mhm.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing this. And how can people get a hold of you and how can they learn more about ways to learn from you and to grow with you?
Well, my website, it's info@franbailey.net. And there's a lot of information on that website that you can contact me there. Email me if you want to chat or whatever. We could do a 15-minute chat for free if you want to do that, and just call me or
Okay.
figure it out. So right now we're kind of rebooting everything. So and I have a wedding next week. So,
Yay.
so after that, July would be,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Well, this video will be evergreen, so you'll be able to use this over and over again. So we just want to make sure that people know that they can go to franbailey.net for your website, and you'll be able to see amazing testimonials and amazing free lessons, pretty much, that will give you a chance to see if Fran is your teacher and your guide during these changing times. I just love her work, and I'm hoping that it'll be the solution to help guide you to the next step for whatever your divinity wants you to do. Right, Fran?
Perfect. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.